Boys, I welcome you to the new year 2023, and in the previous year people asked me questions, like a lot of questions, and actually what I wanted to do is I've gathered these questions. It's about like 16 questions, and I've like just changed the questions a bit so they're like more appearing for like an audience, and I'm going to answer these questions. Pretty interesting things with. So without further ado, let's go, guys. My name is Tulu. I'm probably the best Henir speedrunner in the world, and today we're gonna break down some questions. Let's go. Okay. So yeah. What's the best advice I can give for new elesis players? I'm thinking like a lot of people ask me stuff, like not only about how to play the BQ, but also like how to play Empire Sword, about the positioning and stuff. But ultimately, I want to keep it like as general as possible. Record your gameplay, check it afterwards. It's like one of the best things you can do is to just like wins and repeats, check what you did. Like there's always these moments and runs where you notice your mistakes. You feel a bit weird about it, but in the end of the day, the best way to rewind your gameplay and then just check what you did wrong, so your head like it just burns inside what you need to do like better, stuff like this. As always, practice is key. 90% of your gameplay will go better if you're used to your mechanics. The normal human needs around 60 days to get used to stuff, so don't expect big results. Just go for it. It takes time, for sure it takes time, but if you just like step up, then yeah. And the last key thing I can give is like play with friends. Like you kind of need to rely on people, right? So it's just best to have like people around you who are forgiving for your mistakes, stuff like this, pretty basic stuff. And yeah, the next question is, how did you start? How did I start going into Henir speedrunning, and why do I still run? Well, the start was a bit weird. When I finally equipped my weapon and all my stuff back in the days at Vanimir Peak, I started to reliably clear Henir, and then I was like wondering if I can go faster. And a few old friends who don't play anymore like stepped up with me, and we just like came up with some tricks, you know. Very nice, very nice. Discovering new things, techniques that you and you yourself only develop. These are like the key things, which is the reason why I still speedrun Henir today. It's just too fun, guys. Like it also depends on the rotation. Like people who know me know that there's some weeks that even I don't play because they're just fucking boring. So yeah. What is a platform swap, stage swap? Well, initially I could explain this now. I've put an explanation on the screen, but it's an insane movement tech which allows you to go super fast from slot to slot, and let me just show you what it is. Okay, the swap we cleared, onto the skill cancel. The skill cancel is a unique thing, which is probably my favorite tech in the game. It's like when you use a skill, but it doesn't like perform the skill, so you save the skill and it immediately casts it right after. So it's a bit weird to describe, but we can have a look at this one too, so let's go. But the skill will also travel with you to the next stage. For example, in Henir speedrunning, the skill transition works a bit weird because it only works for certain skills. So you should always like keep your mind in. The same for cancels. Like there is skills that you can't cancel. Obviously, there is inputs that can't allow you to do a stage swap. So you might as well want to try. I can't give you a lot of information on this. Like I can tell you what it is for elesis, for Bloody Queen in this particular example, but like you need to test these things out, and you're gonna notice fast if it works or not. A skill transition is very rare. Like I can tell you, a transition, the skill has to be like, you know, there has to be like some kind of animation going on. For example, Bloodstorm is a good example. Let's just have a look on a skill transition. It's like interrupting the boss's animation to deal damage, to cast a skill or throw an orb. Alternatively, you can use it as an entry cast to skip the animation of a boss. Very useful technique. It's simple, we don't need to talk a lot about this. So, my favorite topic, the Fog of Death. Initially, the Fog of Death speeds up the death animation of certain bosses. For example, if you kill Beirut, he takes 8 seconds to despawn. If you fog him and then kill him, it takes 4 seconds to despawn. However, and this is very important, this technique is not limited to this 4 skill only. You can do it with a lot of skills. Like any skill that debuffs action speed is very useful for this. There is some skills that doesn't work. For example, the leg shot from Chang. I think this doesn't work, although it says it's action speed, but normally every skill that has action speed decrease. The Fog of Death decreases all speeds, so yeah, obviously it will work with that. For example, another good one is the arm accessory, the Frost Queen. When you go into Awakening, this works. The Demonic Eye works, like you can stack these, but they, in the end of the day, they do the same effect, so yeah. Funny, but here's a list of bosses that can be defeated with a sped up death animation. There's also a little Easter egg on the end. If you kill Henir while he has super armor, he is going to despawn faster, so this is something unique, so it has nothing to do with that, but I found it be appropriate to just put it here. The list is pretty much up to date. If I forgot a boss, put it here, because this is the list I use since years, so I doubt there is a boss missing, but I think this is everything, just in case. What is the most valuable property for Henir speedrunning? Well, there's an easy question. It's titles. Obviously, titles are very broken. You can modify your damage very, very good with titles. A good selection of titles can make up enhancement levels which you maybe don't have. It's like, for example, the key thing. Like, if you have the knowledge and, like, for example, the Guardian title, and then, like, something like, I don't know, Twilight of Gods, it can make a lot of things good up. Like, you can compete with people who have a lot of much higher gear than you have, and this is like a key thing. Like, you know, people always tend to say that you need high gear to compete at Henir. That's not true. Like, at best, you need a plus 11 weapon and that's it. Like, you know, the gear can be like, what, plus 9? If you have the titles, then you can still do an amazing performance. Like, it's just the key thing of knowledge, trying, and just to have the good rotation, obviously. Like, if you have to, like, I don't know, kill an armor cleaver on the last stage, you gonna wreck him down. It can take some time, but I guess you can get the drill here. Like, titles are very broken. They can help you a lot. In my opinion, it is the most valuable thing you can have for Henir speedrunning, because every title can do a lot of things. There was times where we used more titles, but these times are sadly over. I hope they bring this amazing old feature back, where you could bounce between titles to get more effects. They changed it for a lot of titles, but I hope they're gonna bring it back. And with that, my best advice for Henir newbies. Well, experimenting is quite easy. Just try new things. Just try to skip things. Try to cancel things. Try to develop your own strategy. If you discover a new strategy, that's like a whole new galaxy opening up to you. If you discover that one of your main rotation skills is cancelable, then you can just over and over cancel it and stack it and then do more damage. And this is the key point. Like, you can overcome gear while trying new stuff. It's very nice. It's incredible. Is Henir speed pay to win? Yes and no, because there is a lot of options that open up once you pay for it. Like, if you have certain IB armor, then you can do a lot of crazy stuff, like the Eligos 2-piece, where you get the skill reset. I still have it till today, because some weeks, maybe I need it. Like, when I have a back-to-back-to-back brandish stage, then I need this. I need to equip it from the beginning, because I need to use the skill 3 times. Then I can use it with the 2-piece, because this has priority. Then I can use it with 15-6 title to get another reset. And the third one, I can use just regularly. And then, maybe 20 seconds pass, and you get the Transcendence reset. So, you know, there's like so many options. Henir is like art. Just try things out, and I would say that saying no to Henir being paid to win is wrong, but saying yes is also wrong. So you kind of have like the middle, like, you know, competing into top ranks, this requires most likely a plus 11 weapon. Like, I can barely see any chance to not to reach this without having like a good burst weapon. That's like probably one of your main issues. How can I almost hit top 3? Well, the thing is, I think from all of people who do Henir, like there's like a few handful that try a lot, like I do, but I just try hard enough. Like when I see a rotation, I'll just start thinking, and you know, there is always a kit for every character. Like in my opinion, generally, you know, like generally every char can compete in Henir. The problem is just that not all characters are like popular, you know, like why should they? Like why should people invest so much money, time and effort into a char like that's not popular? And the differences between some chars are just too big. So why do you see like 90 Eves and only 10 Roses? Because it's obvious. Because like the kit is just stronger, but it doesn't mean like she can compete in Henir. It's just like a matter of trying, like, you know. I can hit top 3 always because I'm just trying hard enough and my kit works. I have the knowledge, I have the key things, I can cancel stuff, like, this is the main reason, right? I'd say there is no week where I can't hit page 1, but it depends. Like, you know, there could be more people who speedrun. Maybe I would be outclassed, I don't know. Like, from my perspective, in my opinion, most of things you can do with every char, but it just requires more stuff. Like, you know, if you lower your damage on the kit, then you need to have more skills. It's just like natural. What's the key for hitting the top ranks? I'd like to call this active passive speed. The key in Henir is killing things in one blow, one cast without moving. Like the more you kill without to move, the faster you are. Checking every possibility, options, cancel, skill, transitions, whatever. That's the key thing. Having the knowledge which stage needs what. Like, you know, the hand-on thing, or like the cancels with the orbs, the transitions you can do, stuff like that. This is like the key things, like the knowledge, the understanding, the mechanics. Like you need to be able to perform these things. Knowing them is not enough. You need to know how to perform these things. My best Henir performance. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna show you. Terrifying Henir experience is when you have stage 1 where you need to do like a skip, like mashing a button, and then you have like stage 5 where you need like RNG dependence. Like, you know, there is I need a good example. Like, what's a good example? A good example is, for example, Deka is a good example. You know, Deka has like 2 patterns, right? In the first pattern, the right Deka, the red one, can go to the left. And in the second pattern, he can just stay still. In the first pattern, he can go to the end of the stage. And imagine this happens. Then you automatically lose like 2 seconds, right? Because you can't go there fast enough. There is like ways to pass this, but just so you can get an idea. Like the most terrifying thing is hitting a skip on the first and the last stage, because it goes into your brain. Like you need to constantly mash the button, and it's just exhausting. It's so much exhausting. Like I had weeks where I was sitting for like 1, 2, 3 hours just because I wanted the masterpiece to be finished, and it's super annoying. Like it's very, very annoying. What character of not elesis? Well, last question, let's just round it up. I was always interested in playing Nova Imperator and OZ Magician because these classes were like interesting for me. Like I know a lot of classes, like my knowledge is very bound, but if I had to choose between a few that I would like to play but I can't right now because I don't build them, it would be those two. Like I think they're just like very versatile. You can do a lot of stuff with them. Like they have a lot of interesting cancels. In my opinion, like favorably, these are the two I just would like to play. Guys, 16 questions are over. If you want to know more, hit the comment, type a question, and I wish everyone had a nice day and have a good start into the new week. Bye bye.